How did it affect you from like the standpoint of every day you're going to work and you just your mentality is like I got to work today, and then you have your routine of what you do when you get off work, dinner, nighttime routine, and then it's like people take a lot of identity in, well, I wake up early, I work out or whatever I do, have breakfast, and then go to work, and then all of a sudden with retirement it's just over, and you're kind of got all day in front of you. Like,
Right,
what was that like?
right. I think that probably earlier in my career, I identified maybe, part of my self-esteem is all wrapped up in work and everything. But I have such a nice life with my husband, and he never really seemed to do that. Like he had all these other interests, and work was just work. He was a software developer and uh, made a fine living, but I think he enjoyed it for the most part, but it was just work. And, he could leave it at the door. And I don't think his self image is all tied up into it. And so, anyway, mine kind of, I started unraveling a little bit from that as well. But I did at first, I was very gung ho with my swimming routine. So I would wake up, have my coffee, go to the pool, and very much into researching new recipes. What can I do with my fruits and vegetables? And go to the grocery store, do my shopping like on a daily basis instead of buying things up front for the whole week. And just like, okay, what sounds good or what looks good at the grocery store, or what new recipe do I want? And then come home and spend kind of a slow cook. So it might take, if a recipe says it takes 1 hour, it's probably going to take me 2 hours or,
Yeah.
and just,
Me too.
well, also, yeah, chopping all the vegetables. So very, some things could be very labor intensive. Like, okay, really, when they give you this butternut squash recipe, are they taking into account how much time it takes to prep this butternut squash into little cubes? I don't know.
It always says prep
But
time like 2 minutes, and that's not
right,
accurate.
right, right. I mean, maybe I need to take a knife skills class or something. But so, it's amazing how for me, that could be a full day going to the swimming pool, uh, showering off. Of course, then you're all wet, your hair's all wet, dry, get all dried off. Basically, get ready all over again. Do my recipe research. And the other thing that I did, very sweet, people from work gave me um, a retirement gift, a monetary gift. I had this lovely Amazon card, and I got myself a bird bath and some different bird feeders, and um, just I could just sit and watch the birds if the weather's nice, or even if it's not, to watch them from inside the kitchen nook out the back. I just really get a lot of enjoyment from watching the birds and trying to identify them. So I think that one
Yeah,
of the things that the pandemic did for us is, just kind of teach you to appreciate some of the simple things in life.
yeah. When we were talking, you said you were getting into bird watching, and so it sounds like you got into it when you were retiring, and it was like a
Hmm.
new hobby. Like you didn't do it before that.
Right. I'd go down to my sister's house, and she and her husband have some bird feeders, and we're into watching the birds. So it started down there in Sherman Oaks, California, just sitting in their backyard. It's like, oh, this is cool.
Have you ever seen those? They have like window attachments you can put in your house where it like makes your window become a 3D thing, and it comes into your house, and then you put some type of bird device in there, and then the bird actually is like in your kitchen, and it's surrounded by glass, but you can see it like all sides of it.
Oh, wow. No, I've
Yeah, you'll
never
have to
heard
look
of
that
that.
up.
I have seen some little, I think there might be hummingbird feeders maybe where you can put them stick them on the glass. I haven't actually tried them, but yeah, that sounds cool. Although if any windows came into our house, our little house would be even smaller. I don't know if we need every square foot we have, but anyway, but that sounds totally cool.
Do you have like the ability to look at birds and be like, I know what kind of bird that is, and like recognize bird sounds and all that kind of stuff? Or
I'm not very good at recognizing sounds. Sometimes I'll think, okay, that sounds like a chickadee because they're a little bit different. Sometimes I'll hear something and I'll think it's a bird. And it's like, oh, that's a squirrel. Or I'll think it's a squirrel. It's like, oh, that was probably a northern flicker or something. It's some kind of a type of woodpecker. Uh, and so mostly watching their behavior and if they're going to a feeder or if they're on the ground. Of course, there's some things like a goldfinch. Okay, I know that's a goldfinch because they're the only like kind of yellow greenish birds that come into my yard. Or there's this other one called a varied thrush. They're orange, but then they have some black on them, and I think it's the male. They have this black ring around their neck, like they have this big necklace on. So there's some that are very distinctive um, that I can recognize, or like a robin. We actually don't get robins very often. Um, and when we were traveling, we'd hear a bird, get out my Merlin app on the phone and hold it up.
yeah,
Okay, what's that? So I did. There's I think it's the European blackbird, Eurasian blackbird. I think it might be European. Anyway, whatever this blackbird is, uh, beautiful, beautiful song. So when I just would hear something, it's like, oh, that sounds so pretty. I bet that's a blackbird. And sure enough, it'd be a blackbird. So sometimes I get it, but oftentimes not.
are there cardinals out here?
I don't get cardinals. I don't, it's, to the best of my knowledge, it's not just that I don't get them. I don't know that they're here. I know like
Yeah,
in
the only reason I bring it
Oklahoma,
up is in Nebraska, there it's like a common thing. Blue jays and cardinals, and they're bright blue and bright red, and
yeah,
I just got used to it. But now that I've been out here for a while, I haven't seen anything like that. So
yeah. I know my dad was outside of Tulsa and they get cardinals. So I've never seen one out here, but I don't know. That's the cool thing too about the Merlin Bird app. You can click on it and you can see their range, their territory, where they go, where they don't go. It's like one of the
okay,
things, my husband built a nest box, so we haven't actually had a bird use it yet, I don't think, but it has to be a very specific size hole for the bird to get in so that a bigger bird can't get in and you know, damage the eggs. So we made a nest box for a chickadee, and apparently there's a bird down in Southern California, so not a chickadee. I forget if it, I forget exactly what type it was, if it's some type of warbler, but anyway, it needed the same type of hole. So he made a duplicate, and that went down to my sister's house in Glendale, California. So hopefully, if our nest box doesn't get used, hopefully hers will.
did
In any
she
event, they're
was she
just kind of cool
excited?
to look at. She was super excited. Yes, it's
Cool.
very handcrafted with precision detail, all by lovingly by Glenn, my
I
husband.
mean, that sounds like a pretty sweet gift.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Alex and I have some water that goes in our backyard, and every once in a while, we'll see a blue heron like looking for
Oh
fish.
wow. Yeah.
And it's a, I have to say, it's a pretty big treat for us because in Nebraska, you don't see any birds that look like blue herons, you know?
Right.
It's a huge bird, and then you see deer or whatever. Apparently, there's fish in it, but you almost never see them because it's moving water. So I guess they
Right.
don't. I don't know, but um, yeah, it's a really cool thing just being out here in nature. And I don't know, the Pacific Northwest, and I know you're in Portland. It's like the animals out here are incredible to just watch, and
Yes.
if you can get them into your yard and attract them, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. husband has a two-person kayak, so sometimes we'll go out to, if we head out, I guess it's out east, we can, there's, well, I mean, wherever you go and you're out in nature, you're going to see some pretty cool things. But there's some places in particular, like out, like I said, it's out west towards Scappoose, where it's kind of a bird sanctuary out there. So we've gone out there and seen herons. And like you say, that is always super exciting.